I started animating with OpenToonz just over 6 years ago. It was around about 2019, 2020-ish, around about COVID. I looked to switch from what I was doing, and still am doing, illustrating. I wanted to get back into animating. And previously, I'd only used 3D Max many years back. So I was looking for a 2D software to start animating. I had some... During COVID, obviously, a lot of us were locked down, and so I came up with some various some ideas of some movies I wanted to make, and I wanted to make them quickly, so I was going for the 2D route. I didn't want to bug around with 3D, and I came across OpenToonz, but not straight away. I actually looked at TV Paint, and I really liked TV Paint, and I was almost at the point of buying TV Paint when I came across OpenToonz. I know a lot of really good animators out there use TV Paint, and I can see why. Aaron Blaze is probably the biggest name that I know, but there's many guys using TV Paint. I came across OpenToonz and I immediately liked it. Obviously, it's got this Studio Ghibli connection, which I worked out later. But I immediately liked a few things about it that TV Paint and a few of the other 2D animation softwares didn't have. You could draw, you could do frame-to-frame animation, and you could create puppets and do some rigged animation, and I really liked that. So that's how I started. And my very first animation that I did using OpenToonz was this flying bird here, and that took an afternoon to do. I hadn't used OpenToonz at all before that. I literally downloaded it, worked out how it worked, and I did this animation within an afternoon. It was fair, and then I was hooked. I was totally hooked. That you can take an idea and you can make it into a simple animation so fast. I was absolutely hooked. And that was the start of my journey with OpenToonz. I never followed through with TV Paint for better or for worse, I don't know. But I've been with OpenToonz ever since for 6 years. Now, a lot of people I've had comments along the way, why don't you use this? Why don't you use that? Why don't you, why OpenToonz? It's really not that great, whatever. Well, I disagree with that, quite strongly, because I have been using it intensely for the last 6 years. And there's very little in the 2D realm that you can't do with OpenToonz. There's some 2D programs that maybe have better rigging, etc. One or two, come to mind. If you've got an idea for a film or for a skit or a short, there's very little that you actually can't do in OpenToonz. So I learned this quite fast and quite early, and I've loved it ever since. Now, does that mean that I'm going to use OpenToonz forever? I don't know. I'm doing a movie at the moment that is still in OpenToonz. Tahoma 2D looks attractive, but it's based on OpenToonz. What I prefer about OpenToonz, although I'll just disclaimer here, I haven't worked with Tahoma 2D, I've just looked at it. But what I prefer about OpenToonz, Tahoma's it's got a better user, or not a better, it's got a simpler user interface. But it doesn't have as many bells and whistles. It's a simplified, perhaps easier version of OpenToonz. But I like all the extras that OpenToonz has. I like all the effects and all the various rigging options, etc., plastic, especially bones, that it has. And so I'm still very much a user of OpenToonz, and I see that going into the future, I'll still probably be using it. But when I made this first movie, the very first movie, it was called A Man Walks into a Bank. And I'd actually started on TrainSpotter before. And then this idea came to me and I made this movie. I don't know, I forget now because it was almost 6 years ago. It must have taken me about 2 to 3 weeks to make this. And that's again what I loved about OpenToonz. It's very basic. The story was very basic, and it had a repetition in it. So I think the whole movie is about 2.5 minutes long, but it's basically a repeat: man with mask, man without mask. And when I made that, immediately I discovered that warp cycles aren't that easy. So that made me work on templates to make warp cycles. And then I also learned a lot about OpenToonz. Obviously, I was new to OpenToonz, but that process of making that short movie taught me a lot about OpenToonz. And it also taught me how to make a short movie. I'd never made one before. I'd started a few with 3D Max, but I'd never finished them. So those three things, the walk cycle, using OpenToonz, and making a short animated movie, those three things I worked on and created courses about, which if you drop into my comment section, all the links are there. So I've got those three as courses, basically animating with OpenToonz. The walk cycles I made more walk cycles and run cycles. Those have all been batched into a Locomotion bundle. It's a bundle of Locomotion courses and templates. And these templates I kept making because I love them. They simplify. Every time you want to make a walk cycle or run cycle, you can just pull the templates up, lay them out in your X sheet or in your timeline, and you can just trace over them. Everything's set up, ready to go. You don't have to go and reinvent the wheel every time. So that's why I created those templates. They've all been batched into a course. And then obviously the making a short animated movie course, that also is one of my third course, is based on me working on this movie that's a painter on Safari. Now that is 20 minutes in already. It was going to be another 20 minutes, and I've managed to edit it down to 10 minutes. So it's going to end up being another 10 minutes long, a 30-minute movie. I had to get brutal with that editing process. I've cut out a lot, but I've actually think I've made a better movie, tying it up succinctly better. So that's a bit of a win, and you can check all the detail. I'll make some more videos for YouTube here about that, but it's all in the course as well. So those three things, those walk cycles, using OpenToonz, and making a short animated movie, those three courses were born out of that very, very first short movie that I made with the walking man who walks into a bank. So that's where all this stuff comes, and I've built and added to all that coursework in the years since. So going forward with this channel, where I'm trying to take this channel going forward, obviously I'm still doing a lot of tutorials, a lot of in-house or practical tutorials on how to use OpenToonz. I'm also doing stuff on the Locomotion, showing you how to use these templates, etc. And I'm also working on the Safari movie, and there's a lot of content that I create out of that. But going forward, I want to do more of this FaceTime, where I actually put my face in front of you guys. I think I've got fixed up with a mic now. I got this last week, and hopefully it's working a lot better than my previous mics. I don't know if I'm ever going to do walking talks. We live in a beautiful area here. There's forests and there's a river stream down there, but there's a lot of dog walkers. I walk my dogs. There's a lot of walkers, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be out there with my mic and my hands free on my phone, taking video and doing walk and talks like is become very popular. But what I want to do is get away from the screen. I give you guys a lot of screen time. So a lot of the work that I've done for this channel has been video work on the screen. So you don't see me at all. You just see me using OpenToonz or creating a walk cycle or run cycle, whatever. It's all screen time. You just see the screen. I'm going to continue doing that, but I want to do a lot of me talking to you guys like this, more as there's several reasons why I want to do this. One is, I just don't want to be hemmed in by being that technical guy. I just want to be more a face in front of my followers, you guys. And I want to show you stuff. I've got some whiteboards coming in, some flip charts, and I actually want to show you some more hand-drawn stuff. We'll cover a lot of stuff that I do on the computer, but I'll be showing it to you, addressing it or projecting it, if you want to call it that, in a different way. I'm over here at my painting desk, and I also want to show a lot more of this as well. So that's going to also be a lot more practical and less on the screen. So that's where this channel is going, looking forward. I certainly want to open my range. I'm still going to stay in the animation niche, but I want to be a little bit more practical, a little bit more hands-on, and less just all you see is a screen. So that's where this is going. I don't know. As I said, I'd love to do some walk and talks and just show you guys around the neighborhood and at least a river and forest down the road. and talk about things to do with animation, whatever. We may get there, but for now, I just want to get away from the screen a little bit more and get in front of you guys visually and show stuff more. I think this is more interactive in a way. And I don't know if this is going to work. You guys are welcome to drop into the comments and let me know what you think. If you want me to go this way with the channel, if you just want me to stay desk bound and show you my screenshots and the videos that I create on the screen, you're welcome to let me know your opinion. But that's where I'm thinking I'm going with this. Guys, thanks very much. This has been a bit of a ramble here. Thanks very much for dropping into my animation channel. I really appreciate all your support, and hopefully I'll see you around here again soon. All the best. Bye.